So today I am in these beautiful surroundings in the old part of Bangkok, and I thought I'd be stupid not to take advantage and make a video. So even if you're not listening to me, you can look at the surroundings and look at some of the things that I've seen today. So this behind me is Museum Siam, which is a museum dedicated to what it is to be Thai. And I actually have a daughter who's half Thai. Whilst I'm not necessarily neglectful of what it is to be Thai, I should learn more for her, you know. This is half of who she is. Can we go through here? It's absolutely gorgeous little place. I thought this would be a good opportunity to make a video that's a little bit different and talk about why I live in Thailand, because you'll see a lot of people on Instagram nowadays, especially if you're interested in Thailand, if you're seeking out this Thailand content as those people make, that are just like, fuck it, I woke up one day and I just didn't want to do this anymore, so I moved to Bangkok and got myself a condo for $200. I guess that does happen, but that is not my story. My story is very, very different to that. I did actually one day, a long time ago, move to Korea. And at that time, I had no real plan, no real idea about where I would be in 10 years. I just wanted to have a good experience, get away from the UK, experience a different part of the world, different culture, all that sort of jazz. And I absolutely fucking loved it. A little mate of mine moved over there, and suddenly it felt like home, but I always felt limited in what I could do there. And I think once you start to feel limited in something, in anything, you start to get an itch of wanting something new. By the way, if you're usually dropping on these videos for the fitness content, this isn't really going to be fitness related, as you've probably worked out by now. So don't unsubscribe, don't dislike the video, just maybe skip this one. But if you're interested in a little bit of a story, stick around, because it's a nice story with a nice ending. So as I say, I got that itch, and I'd been to Japan a couple of times, and Japan was just calling me in. Korea is a great country. Oh God, the sprinklers are on. Oh God, I'm in the middle of them. I won't actually mind getting wet, to be honest. I don't mind getting wet in this country. I might just walk through these sprinklers on purpose. Japan was calling me in. I always viewed Tokyo as the end game. You know, once I'd been there a couple of times, I viewed Tokyo as the end game. And I thought it was when I finally got there, when I finally got a job in Tokyo, and it's like, yeah, I am actually moving to Japan. I'm actually moving to Tokyo. I was like, right, I want to stay there long term. I was thinking, if I could generate a lifestyle there, a life out there, then it's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. I'm going to walk through these sprinkles now. Woo, woo, very nice on my legs, very refreshing. Stayed there. I was there for 5 years, but after a year, I met myself a little princess, and she wasn't from Japan either. And I'll tell you something, guys. When you are two foreigners living in a foreign country, falling in love, thinking about the future, there's a lot of shit that you think about which most people would never think about: visas, living situations, working situations, having kids, culture, the educational culture. So once we started to plan for the future, we started to think maybe Japan is a great place to live. It's definitely a great place to live off the grid with unlimited funds. That's not me, unfortunately. Like, if you don't have to integrate into Japanese society, unbelievable place to live. If you can literally just be like a travel YouTuber. Everyone wants to be nowadays, don't it? I want to be a YouTuber. I'm here on YouTube, but I want to be a fitness YouTuber. But if you could just be a Japan travel YouTuber, like that Abroad in Japan guy, for example, absolute dream situation. Great country, there's things to explore, absolutely beautiful, but you don't have to fully integrate into their way of life, because that can be tough and that can be draining at times. During this period, fucking 8 years now, you're talking, I moved away 2012, and we're getting towards 2020 before the big one hit. In this period, I've been coming to Thailand periodically as, first of all, a single young man traveling with my friends, traveling with my brother, and then in a relationship. Obviously, depending on your circumstances when you come to Thailand, your experience is going to be completely, these sprinklers are literally all over the place. Your experience is going to be completely different, let's be honest, a single 65-year-old man straight on the retirement boat coming out here is probably not coming to enjoy quiet, peaceful gardens like this. Whereas me, a young 21, I wish I was still 21, a younger than 65-year-old man coming out here looking to try and put some foundations down for the future and set up the best scenario possible for my daughter. I've got a bit of a different perspective on life. Whilst I live over in the hustle and bustle because of the convenience, I actually prefer this side of Bangkok. So we've come out here and I'm working remotely, I'm doing some training and things like that. Life is good, life is easy, but life is not as seamless as you would imagine. You do need a little bit of money to get by. You do need to think about your future prospects, unless you plan on just dropping in for a year and then bouncing out. Then, and by that means, it's basically a glorified holiday, isn't it? Now, to bring it back to why we've chosen here, I mean, we could have technically stayed in Japan, right? Legally, we were both okay to live there. My daughter was okay to live there. She had a visa too, so the three of us were in Japan. But I want my daughter to grow up in a environment where she feels 100% comfortable. And as great as Japan is, and as lovely as Japanese people are, I don't think she would have grown up like that had we chosen to stay there. It would have been somewhat comfortable to stay there and all that sort of jazz, but this was the challenge that we needed to take on. And when I say the challenge, you're probably thinking, oh, but Thailand's cheaper than Japan. But yeah, but I had contacts out there, I had foundations out there that I had to leave behind. Here, I'm sort of starting from scratch. I had a couple of little side hustles going on that I've had to try and expand upon, but the challenge was to come out here to find balance, to find stability, and slowly but surely we're getting there. I've been abroad for 12 years now. I've been away from my family for 12 years. Home, Manchester, no longer feels like home. I don't feel like I can go back there. I feel like if I went back there, I'd be going back in time. This sprinkler's coming for me. Go on, wet my leg. Woo! Woo! Very nice, very nice. Like I pissed myself. I feel like I'd be going back in time. Seoul was a period of my life which I absolutely loved, and I would love to take aspects of that into this current day, especially the couple of friends that I had out there. I'd love to see those two boys more. I don't even see one of them at all anymore, and hopefully I'll be seeing one of them next year. Tokyo has everything you could need to be happy as a tourist living off the grid, but once you have to integrate into society, whether that be directly or whether that be secondhand through your kids. You know, my kid, I couldn't educate my kid at home. I would need to send her to school. The Japanese and Korean education systems absolutely scare the shit out of me. I don't want my kid going through them, I'll be honest. I want her to have more of a balance and to be able to be a kid. Then Thailand has its challenges too. Yeah, I've got a swimming pool outside, that's cool. Yeah, I'm going to the best gym I've ever been to, obviously that's important for me. Life isn't absolutely perfect here. It's hectic, it's loud, it's noisy, it's a bit chaotic. Sometimes I'd like to move away from the hustle and bustle, but then life does immediately become slightly more complicated, so you have to think about stuff like that. So it's all part of the process, guys. I think if I could choose the exact ideal destination, it would be a combination of the 4 major cities in my life. It would be my friends and family from Manchester, my social outlook from Korea, if that makes sense. Life was fun when I was in Korea. Life was free and easy, but that was obviously a product of the fact that I was in my 20s. Maybe the conveniences, having everything on your doorstep like you have in Japan, and just the relaxed outlook and perspective and amenities of being here in Thailand. I'd love to combine all 4 of those things. Unfortunately, that's impossible, so I'll have to work on manipulating the variables that I've got and working them to my advantage to create not the best life only for myself and my wife, but primarily for my daughter, because she is the most important thing in my life, and I want her to grow up 100% comfortable with who she is, who she's surrounded by, the environment she lives in, and most importantly, I am planning on making sure OnlyFans becomes illegal in every country in the next 5 years. So keep an eye on that. That's my new project. Let's get rid of OnlyFans, guys. We do not want our daughters growing up in a world where even if we trust that they are smart enough to make the right decisions, they still have to be surrounded by girls who are getting paid ridiculous amounts of money by creepy old men for doing very degrading things. It's not a very nice aspect of society. If you've enjoyed this one, geezers, I'm going to go for a little explore. Maybe I'll pop some beautiful video B-roll onto the end of this footage if I find something nice. See you in the next one.